Hey guys, this is Corey of Curb Free with Corey Lee, and I'm so excited to do my fourth ever Curb Free from home today. So today is really exciting. Every week I'm bringing you a new destination, and I'll be talking with a representative from that destination every week. So far, we've been really fortunate to talk with Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Tempe, Arizona, and Wilmington, North Carolina, and its island beaches. So all of those live videos are here on my Facebook page, and they're also on YouTube. So feel free to search Curb Free from Home on YouTube if you want to see those, and I'll be uploading this one on there later today. But today, as you can see behind me, I am in Costa Rica. Yay! So last year I went to Costa Rica for the first time, and well, we have a tourist here with looking at the volcano. It seems like maybe have you seen a toucan yet?
Ooh.
Or a sloth? Oh.
Pura vida, Costa Rica.
So yeah, we loved Costa Rica for real though, you guys. My mom is like over here on the floor. She just fell, but she's okay. She's okay. We really loved Costa Rica last May when we visited for the first time. It's an incredible destination and one that I really wanted to show you guys. And hopefully, when it's safe to travel again and you feel like going to Costa Rica, you'll be well prepared and know all about its accessibility. So today with me, I have Stephanie of Il Viaggio Travel. She is the owner, founder, a guide. She's a woman of many, many talents for the company Il Viaggio Travel. And Il Viaggio, they specialize in wheelchair accessible tours of Costa Rica. So welcome, Stephanie.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, thank
you, Corey.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited to talk with you, and hopefully we can inspire everyone and tell them why they should visit Costa Rica whenever they feel like doing so again. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for inviting me. Yes, of course, Costa Rica will be here and will be ready when all the borders and everything is open. So, nice. And we're working really hard in accessibility, very, very hard on that.
So what are like the current coronavirus like regulations for Costa Rica, and when can someone like start planning a trip to Costa Rica again, do you think?
Okay, Costa Rica is a bubble right now in all Central America. We've been handling the whole COVID situation really, really well. Basically, we have around 1,000 something of people with the virus. Only 500 have been really entered into hospitals, and we have only around 10 people that have been died or dead since the March 16th. The borders, the country, everyone has been locked down since March 16, and borders are still closed until June 30. The idea is that after June 30, borders should be open. Right now, hotels are already open for national tourism. We're 50%. Every hotel can open their doors in 50% availability. And we already have all the protocols, hygiene, and everything implemented. The government created 14 different protocols, one for restaurants, hotels, tours, guides, everyone. So we're already implementing and doing all the, the trials and everything in the hotels and tours and everything that are open in 50%.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, that's how it looks right now.
Yeah, thank you for that information. And I know it's, this is a very strange time in the travel industry, but hopefully, once, the borders are open back up, I hope that people will, feel safe enough to be able to get back out there and go to amazing places like Costa Rica. And so when they are planning that, when I first looked into traveling to Costa Rica, like 10 years ago, it really wasn't possible as a wheelchair user. I couldn't find like any wheelchair accessible tour companies or transportation and things like that. But thanks to your company, Il Viaggio Travel, it is now possible for wheelchair users to finally have that amazing, authentic experience in Costa Rica. And so, can you tell us all about Il Viaggio Travel, when the company started, and what exactly what do you guys specialize in?
Yeah. Well, Il Viaggio was born in 2005. Emilio, my husband, which on that time was my boyfriend, we built Il Viaggio Travel because we wanted to create a company that was specialized in people and not in numbers. We wanted something very tailor-made, VIP, where you came and we had dinner together and we could show you all the backstage of Costa Rica, what we really know and love about our country, you know?
Yeah.
So that was 15 years ago. During those 15 years, we have had clients from all over the world. We've done packages for people from Israel, kosher packages, people from Europe, Canada, US, South America, all over. And well, we specialize in sustainability. Since we opened, we started looking at sustainability of being green, being social, the community, and all of that. We're right now the only local ground operator in Costa Rica with elite level in sustainability, which is the highest level of sustainability, and the only one with the social seal. There is a new certification in the country that it's certified also by the International Organization of Tourism, of Social Tourism, which is a worldwide organization. And we're the only ones in Costa Rica with that seal as well. So that makes us very, very proud that we have been
Oh,
doing the right thing, you know, that we have been growing and growing in this past 15 years. And from being a normal local ground operator that just specialized on itineraries, 8 years ago, we realized that, well, my daughter was born. And so we started traveling as a family, which was completely different now.
yeah.
And so we created special itineraries for families. When we started traveling as a family, we brought our grandparent, which is 80 years old, my mom, which is 60 years old, my kids, 2 and 1, you know. And so it was a diverse family traveling together around Costa Rica. So we do that to check all of our suppliers. So
Yeah.
we do that as a family. And we realized that when we were with our grandpa, we needed accessibility. When I was with the stroller, I needed accessibility.
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, we said like, okay, no, this is not working. We have to create a product where seniors, where the parents with strollers or people with wheelchairs can travel around Costa Rica in the same way. It's incredible when you arrive to a hotel and you have the baby in a stroller and an 80-year-old grandpa and you see those huge stairs, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this, right?
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, we started creating the accessible product. We started talking with the suppliers, checking them, how was their accessibility, did they had ramps, how were their rooms. It's very interesting because sometimes you arrive to the hotel and you tell the hotel, okay, I want to check specifically the accessible room. And they're like, what? I'm like,
Right.
yes, that's what I need to see. And
Yeah.
they're like, okay. What are you talking about? I'm like, yes, that's the part I need to see, right? And then
Right.
I take the meter and I start measuring everything, and they're like, this is the crazy girl, right? And so that's how everything started. And right now we can show Costa Rica to everyone like anyone else. We
Yeah.
have all the equipment for the room. So when you arrive to the room, we can help you with the lifts, with the shower chairs, with the bathroom chairs, and all of the different equipment for the rooms. And of course, one of the things is that we didn't want our people just to stay in the hotel, right? It's not all about the room. You have to go out and see the rainforest and the monkeys and the rafting and the
Oh,
canopies and all of that. So we started working on all of that and training all of our suppliers and getting the equipment, the vans. There were no tourism vans in Costa Rica, no tourism vans. So we worked with a company and we said, hey, let's try this. at least please give me one van with a ramp. And that's the van that you see on the picture. That's the one that you use. It's the first accessible van with tourism permits in Costa
Wow.
Rica.
Yeah,
Now
and it was
we
beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it was perfect, and the van was very comfortable and spacious, and it was really a comfortable ride. I mean, when I was on tour, we went from like San Jose down to La Fortuna in the rainforest area, and it's a very like
Mhm.
good van and a good ride. So yeah, thank you guys for that.
Yeah, right now we already have three adapted vans.
Oh, wow.
Two are like the ones that you use, that are two small ones, and we had one big one where we can handle six different wheelchair users in the same van with their companions.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, a few people are watching and commenting. Debbie says that her relatives have traveled to Costa Rica and they loved it, and maybe she can get her daughter there someday since the accessibility sounds so great. So yeah, thanks to Il Viaggio, it is possible now. And are like while you guys there are, I mean, you have the accessible vans and you really evaluate hotels for accessibility. I stayed at some really nice hotels that you guys evaluated. One of them was the Arenal Kioro Suites and Spa, and that's the view from my room, so you could see the volcano, and it's like really one of the best places that I've ever stayed. And then even in the bathroom, it did have the roll-in shower, which worked beautifully. So yeah, I mean, you guys are really evaluating and looking at accessibility details like that. And I think it's good to know that there actually is a wheelchair user on the Il Viaggio team. Is that correct, Natalia?
That's correct.
Yeah.
That's correct. We believe that accessibility is not only for our tourists, it has to be also inclusion and also for Costa Ricans. So
Right.
that's what we do. We have Natalia right now on our team. She is our sales executive, and she's the one in charge of helping all of our accessible needs and wheelchair users. And we have done also sensory packages, autism packages, and we're working on all of that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And in Costa Rica, are there any like accessibility laws in place within the whole country?
Yes. Yes, that's one big thing. In Costa Rica, the past 29th of May, it was the 25th anniversary of the implementation of our law, which is the Law
Oh,
7600, which implements accessibility in infrastructure.
oh, nice.
So, by law, every single building should have accessibility. Of course, like it happens in the US and all over the world, there's the law, but it's not always 100% implemented, right? So
Right.
that's why we have to do our work and going out to that hotel and really check the rooms, because if you call them, they're going to say, of course, they have accessibility because it's a law. They
Yeah.
cannot say it's not implemented, right?
Right.
But the thing is that when you arrive there, they don't have the shower shares, or the beds are really, really high. And so there's a lot of different details that they're not part of the law. The law says like you need the ramps and they
Mhm.
have to be 10% in angle. And so those details are in the law, but there's a lot of tourism details that are not included, right? That we have to train the owners and go and check them and tell them how to make it better and all of that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good to know that there is at least a law in place, even though it isn't perfect, maybe. But
Mhm.
I mean, I think accessibility, I mean, the word accessible itself means something different for everyone. So the fact that you guys are, focusing on
Yeah.
wheelchair accessibility, but also, sensitivity to blind travelers or deaf travelers or hard of hearing, I mean, you guys really are accommodating and completely inclusive to every traveler that's out there, which makes Il Viaggio a really great company, I think. So, yeah, thank you for all that you're doing.
And as you mentioned, you're welcome. And as you mentioned, we have Natalia, which is a specialist in wheelchair users, right? Because she is
Yeah.
a wheelchair user. And we have Henry. Henry is one of our staff as well. He's working with us on the sense because he's a blind person. And
Oh,
then we have also Carolina, and she is deaf. So we create the product with the people
right.
because that way we can really understand, right? Because there's a lot of people that ask me, why are you doing accessible travel if you don't have any disability, right? And
Yeah,
because it's the right thing to do.
right.
It's Costa Rica should be a destination that can be enjoyed by anyone. And
Yeah.
I believe that after COVID, the new normal should be
Mhm.
accessible. Why?
Yes.
Because it will open the market so much. It will give a perspective of the country that we're a country that we have handled the pandemic really well, that we have social security, that we have free health care, and education, and not only that, accessibility. That will give us a very big plus, right? So
Oh, yeah.
that's
For
what
sure.
we're trying to implement.
Yeah, whenever I'm talking to like other destination representatives, they're often like really surprised whenever I mention just how big the accessible travel market is. And so as soon as I say like the numbers and all of the statistics and how much money like that people with disabilities spend on travel every year, like their eyes widen and they're like, "Oh my God, like we never expected, for the accessible travel market to be that big." So yeah, the fact that you realize
Yeah.
that already is amazing. And
Well, I'm
aside,
trying to make the government understand that.
yeah, and I think when people think
Yeah, the
of
government.
yeah, when people think of like a Costa Rica, I think they think of a lot of like outdoor experiences. So I would really love to like share some of the outdoor experiences with everyone watching. And when I went, the first place we could maybe talk about is the Mystico Hanging Gardens. That was probably
Yeah.
my favorite place that I visited on my trip. It was a really unique destination and phenomenally
Mhm.
accessible, I thought. So, can you talk about exactly what the Mystico Hanging Gardens are and a little bit about it?
Yeah. Mystico is located in Arenal volcano area, so it's the northern central area of the country. Arenal is an active volcano. It used to have lava and everything. A couple of years ago, it stopped. And the Mystico Park is private reserve that they did trails and they did this marvelous hanging bridges that you can see on the picture right now. So you can walk or go on your wheelchair or with the scooters that they rent and everything all around the park. Have like a botanical garden where you can see hummingbirds, there's frogs, then you can go all the way to do the hanging bridges. And there's a whole loop that it's 100% accessible.
Yeah, so
You
there
have
is
the specialized guides.
yeah, and when I was there, we were lucky enough to see like some wildlife. We saw poisonous dart frogs, like dozens of them. We even saw two pit viper snakes, which I am terrified of snakes, but it was really cool to see them. So I mean, it was a good experience, and I mean, I think that is absolutely a must do for anyone that's coming to Costa Rica. And then near the Mystico Hanging Bridges Park, there is the Bogarin Trail, which I was lucky to do. And on that trail, we saw some sloths. And the sloth was like the number one thing that I wanted to see in Costa Rica. So I was like tremendously happy when we finally saw that. And also, even a toucan we were able to see on that trail. And it was accessible as well.
Yes, one of the things is that we have managed to work with some properties to create accessible trails like Bogarin, Mystico. There's national parks that have accessible trails as well in different areas of the country. And we also have the Jolette. Right now, we have the equipment to take you on trails that are not accessible. So that
Oh,
way we can take you into the the wildlife that you can actually not go on an accessible. Of course, accessible trails are limited, right? But if we have the equipment, we can take you anywhere, and that's what we have done right now.
Yeah, that's cool. And another trail that I went to was the Universal Trail at a Carrara National Park. And we saw like
Carrara.
tons of iguanas there. And the accessible trail there, is it like 3/4 of a mile long? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's one of the longest in the national parks, and it was the first accessible trail built in the national park. Remember that in Costa Rica, 25% of our land is protected, and most of them are national parks from the government. We have been implementing accessible trails in almost all of them, and Carrara specifically is the transitional rainforest. So it's very interesting because you can see wildlife from the rainforest and from the dry forest on one same ecosystem. So that's why you can see a lot of wildlife there.
Awesome. Yeah, and if someone like has is coming to Costa Rica and they do the outdoor experiences like in the national park and at the hanging bridges and the Bogarin Trail and all of that, but then near La Fortuna and those outdoor wildlife experiences, there's also a really peaceful experience that I did, which is the hot springs. And so with the hot springs, there was even like a ramp to get into the hot spring, and you guys actually built an amphibious wheelchair. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
We have a project that we call Donatapa. Donatapa is a project that recycles plastics 2, 4, and 5. So the whole country gives us plastic that they don't use anymore, like the lids of things or plastic bags and all of that. And we create plastic wood with that plastic. We recycle it, we transform it into plastic wood. And with that plastic wood, we create accessible cushions. So we have created that accessible wheelchair, which is like an amphibian chair, we call, and we use that one to help people go into the pools, go into the hot springs, and even like just take a walk on the beach with that wheelchair works really well. And of
Nice.
course, go into the ocean, which is amazing, right?
Oh yeah. I wasn't able to go to the beach during my trip, but that was actually going to be my next question for you. So, if someone does want to go to the beaches in Costa Rica, is that accessible? And can you talk about maybe some of the best like accessible resorts and places to stay and the beach wheelchair options?
Okay. Around the beaches, unfortunately, it's really hard to get accessible rooms and accessible areas. It's unfortunate, but we're working on that. We have created a platform, like a retractable platform that we do with the plastic wood. And with that, we create access from the hotels to the ocean. That same path, we use it to create accessible paths on the rainforest as well. But on the beaches, what we can say is there's some hotels on the central Pacific coast, which means Jaco, which is the first accessible beach with the platform and with amphibian chairs. Then we have Manuel Antonio. Manuel Antonio has two hotels that are also accessible, and the national park has a trail inside the national park which is accessible, but unfortunately they still don't have the ramps to go into the ocean. Okay. Then right now we're working on two big projects. We're making Bahia Ballena, which is also a national park a little bit south from Manuel Antonio. That national park, we're going to do a ramp there, so it's going to be
Oh,
accessible. And
nice.
in Guanacaste, Playa Hermosa, we're building the first 100% accessible infrastructure. So it's going to have the parking lot, the showers, the bathroom, a changing place with the lifts and the changing table and all of that, all the services with the picnic tables and the ramps and the chairs. So that's going to be in Playa Hermosa.
Yeah.
Right now, we're in the process of creating the architecture plans and all the permits. We're going to start our building process around August. So it's
Awesome.
going to be ready for next year.
Very good. And for anyone watching, I am actually going to be doing some curb-free group tours with Il Viaggio Travel next May. So it was supposed to be last month, like this past April and May, but unfortunately the coronavirus happened and we couldn't make it happen. But we have postponed until next April and May of 2021. And we actually have a couple spots still remaining on those tours. So if you do want to go on the curb-free Costa Rica group trip, send me a message, send us an email, go to my website, and contact us, and we would love to have you join us on those tours next year, which I'm super, super excited about. So on those trips, we're going to be spending some time in San Jose, and we'll be like exploring downtown San Jose, doing all of that fun stuff, the markets there. But then we'll also head to the rainforest that we talked about. And then we'll actually be staying in an all-inclusive resort at the beach. So it's going to be a really fun trip. And anyone watching, I hope you can join us there.
Yeah, you're all invited. And let us know if you want to join. It's going to be a very exciting trip where you're going to do, as Corey said, Central Valley, markets, history, rainforest, volcanoes, hot springs, and end at the beach, which is a very accessible resort that we have selected, that we have been working on. And it gives you access to pools and to different activities. So it's going to be great.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm counting down the days. But if someone,
me too, to have you all back here.
Yeah, I can't wait. But if someone wants to even do like more adventurous activities like zip lining or surfing or something adventurous like that, I know that zip lining and surfing are possible, but I did not do it on my trip. But can you talk about how you guys have made that accessible for everyone?
Yes, of course. Well, in Sarapiquí River, we have created safari river floats, which are class 1 and 2 in rafting. Very calm, but it gives you all that adrenaline of going into the rafts and doing the safari, all in the rapids and everything. Of course, they're very light rapids because we need to have also safety, right? What we do for the river tours, of course, we still don't have a lift, so we do have to carry you to the raft. But after that, you're on your own with your guides and your people in the rafts. Then we have the canopy tours. The canopies are also accessible. What we do with the canopies, we don't let our people go with their wheelchairs. We want you to fly free, like everyone does. You don't need a wheelchair. You fly like anyone else. We have all the equipment, we have all the harnesses and everything to help you. And so you can do the canopy like anyone does. At each platform, we will help you with a lot of guides. We have around 5 guides that will be in charge of each person with disability, and they will help you go up and down the cables. We will have the wheelchair on each ramp so you can just rest on your wheelchair, but the cables are done freely. Then we have the surf. In Costa Rica, we have a national team of adapted surf. They have been on several championships, and they have brought a lot of gold medals and silver medals to the country. We're very proud of them. The adapted surf team, we do surfing tours with them so that you can come to Costa Rica and not only learn to surf, but also be with the adapted surf team. The trainers of the national team will be with you, showing you how to surf. So it's very interesting how all of those activities have been adapted and have been people trained, so that it's not only about the equipment, but it's also about people.
Right. Yeah, those sound like an amazing experiences. And I have gone ziplining before, but not in Costa Rica. So maybe one day I can do it in Costa Rica and give it a try if I can work up my nerve enough to do it. But it does sound amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and
incredible to fly just really like a monkey.
yeah, that'd be fun. It sounds amazing. And for some, this lady Patty is saying that she's looking for things that her daughter can do in Costa Rica. So if you are planning a trip for someone with children, is that a different trip, or do you kind of plan the itinerary differently, or what all are some good activities that children could do?
Okay, we do personalized trip planning as well, right? So we have the group, like the group that you're doing, where the itineraries are fixed. So basically, when the group is going to the canopy, we would take the kids and the family to do, for example, a hanging bridge or a butterfly garden or something like that, because the properties where we do the activities, it's not only one tour itself, they have different elements that are implemented on the same property, right? If it's a personalized trip planning, we create the itinerary based on the ages of the children, their needs, if they have like a dietary restriction or if they have a condition that we have to take care of during the trip. So we create those based on the ages. But for example, I have my 7-year-old and my 4-year-old, and I take them around, I take them to the beaches, to the rainforest, we do walks. There's the safari floats that they love. I even took my little one when he was 2 years old into a safari river float, and he was incredible. Safari boat tours to see wildlife. They are really impressed when they see the crocodiles and the toucans and all of that wildlife and monkeys. So that's a great way of teaching them about wildlife and encounters and social. For example, we take them into a local school where they can interact with local children, or we can plant a tree or take them to a Mascaradas and Cimarrona tour, which is a cultural experience where they see masks and play with the dolls and all of that. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of activities. Costa Rica it's a real destination for all. We have a website that it's Costa Rica Family Holidays.com, and there you can find itineraries based on the ages of the children. So we have the first
Oh,
encounter from 0 to 4 years old. We have treasure hunt experience from 5 to 11. Teens adventures, multi-generation, and accessible travel. So that way we have implemented like the whole range of ages and different itineraries. Of course, there are sample itineraries, right? The
yeah,
idea
yeah.
is that we can
They can
show
do
you that
stuff.
Costa Rica is doable.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think I mean Costa Rica was really one of the most educational trips that I've ever taken, because when I was like in the national parks and in the outdoors, I really learned a lot about like wildlife and I mean the plants there. I mean, there's really so much to learn in Costa Rica, so it would really make for a great trip for small children or adults or people of any ages. Really, I think if you're wanting to really get out there and learn and have an educational journey, then Costa Rica would be the perfect place to do it.
Well, we call our guides, drivers, hosts, captains, and
Wow.
they're all in one. It's everyone. So that's why you learn a lot because you had Luis Diego with you, and Luis Diego is one of our captains.
He was
Basically, guides
really,
are certified guides.
yeah, he was one of the best tour guides I've ever had. Like Diego was so much fun and like really made it a phenomenal trip for us.
Yeah, all of staff are completely selected, and they're selected because they're fun, they have information, they're certified, so they know about first aids, they have the knowledge about animals, wildlife, history, geography, and they are also parents because to families it's really important so that our guides know how to handle kids, how to talk to kids, how to make them entertain, right?
Right.
Stop, know those spots where you stop for the ice cream or you stop for a nice cookie and all of that. So
Oh yeah. And
that's what makes it different.
we did plenty of that. We got ice cream. at a market one day, and we had some good experiences like that.
That's what makes it different, right? When you book a tour online, you don't have that special person that shows you their country, right? It's just
Right.
you go online, you buy a tour, you buy a hotel, a car, and you miss all those special touches, all of those details that a guide or a local ground operator can give you, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
of course, the guarantee of accessibility. Because
Yeah,
if you go online in Costa Rica, you won't find the accessible rooms. No hotels will guarantee them. The only way to have an accessible van is through Viage Travel. The specialized guides, the only guides that know how to treat or handle or have the service, experience of how to handle accessible trips is really something very unique, and that's what we have been doing, right?
yeah, awesome. Yeah, and if anyone watching has any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll try to answer it for you. But I guess my last question is just a fun little question. So, if you could only pick three experiences, or if someone's coming to Costa Rica and they only have time to do three things, what are the top three in your opinion?
Top three. Oh, that's hard. I've been creating
It's a tough
itineraries for
one.
people that have been in Costa Rica for the past 15 years and they come over and over again. And
Yeah,
I've been creating itineraries for those people 15 years, and every time they come, I give them something different.
yeah,
So let's say um, volcano,
Mm, yeah,
rainforest, and an adventure. That way you have a combination of the volcano, which is very unique, that you can go all the way to the crater, see the crater, or look at this marvelous picture and have a great view of the volcano. The second one is the rainforest, because of course in the rainforest you're going to see a lot of wildlife and learn about flora as well. The sloths, which everyone wants to see. In Costa Rica, we have the sloth three-toed and the two-toed sloths. We have toucans. This is the one with two colors, but we have the rainforest toucan as well, the rainbow toucan, sorry, rainbow toucan. So I think the rainforest it's also a top,
yeah,
and an adventure. Come to Costa Rica and don't do an adventure like a surf or a canopy or a hanging bridge. Those activities will give you a highlight of the destination. Yeah,
yeah.
the
All of
hanging
that.
bridges are incredible.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, everything that I did while in Costa Rica is just phenomenal, and I hope that we've shown everyone watching that it is a destination to definitely consider once we can get out there. Sherry does have a question for us. She says, "Could excursions be booked with you guys if they're on a cruise in Costa Rica?"
Yes, we do one-day tours for cruise lines that we're the only one right now operating accessible tours for all cruises. So yes, you can book them. We are not yet inside the cruise, so you do have to book them directly with us.
Okay,
We're
so
still working with the cruise lines.
right. Okay. All right, and I think that's all of the questions that I see right now. But if anyone is watching later on and has a question, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll come back and do my best to answer. And if I can't answer, then I'm sure Stephanie is willing to answer your questions later on. But I think that's all the questions that I had, Stephanie. But thank you so much for your time and for joining me. And I really, it was so much fun to talk about Costa Rica with you, and I'm dreaming about getting back already, so I can't wait to see you next year.
Can't wait to see you next year as well.
Yeah,
And
alrighty.
thank you all for watching, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to show everything that we have been doing, and that hopefully will be ready for all of you next year. Hopefully this year someday, right?
Right, hopefully. If anyone is wanting to contact you, how can they find you? Can you tell us your website and your contact details?
Okay. Well, as I said, I have Costa Rica FamilyHolidays.com. That's very easy. Costa Rica FamilyHolidays.com.
Yeah.
And my email is Stephanie@Costa Rica FamilyHolidays.com. The one that you have right there is our mom company, Il Viaggio, which has been 15 years in business. I normally don't say that webpage because it's really difficult for some people to really understand. Il Viaggio is the travel in Italian. And so it's that, yeah, we're called like that because my family's from Italy. We're from Milan. So our company is called Il Viaggio, which means that travel in Italian. Yep. So that's our main webpage where you can find more information, not only about family and accessibility, but also if you need general information, tips, sustainability, what we're doing, news, and all of that. It's on that webpage of Il Viaggio.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, and thank you again. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you next year.
See you next year, Corey. Have a great time and take care, right?
Yeah, you too. Have a good day.
Bye. Thank you.
All right, so I hope you guys really enjoyed that live video with Stephanie of Il Viaggio Travel in Costa Rica. Definitely tune in next week, next Thursday. I will be talking with the kind folks from the Savannah, Georgia Tourism Board. So we'll be talking all about accessibility in Savannah and what all it has to offer. So it's going to be a good one, and I can't wait for that and hope that you'll tune in. But I'll be bringing you more information all about that in a couple days. So everyone, have a great rest of your week and a great weekend, and stay safe. And I'll see you next week. Bye.